Dear members of Dissertation Council, in accordance with the order of the chairman of the board, rector of Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, number 306, dated June 28, 2021, changes and additions made by order of the rector number 82, dated 11/03/2022, the permanent staff, the Dissertation Council for the direction of study 8D041, Business and Management, approved in the amount of 6 permanent members of the Dissertation Council, and in accordance with the protocol number 27 of February 16, 2022, approved in the amount of 6 temporary members. At today's meeting, there are 12, Laura Ibolna, 12 members.
Yeah, all 12 members.
Okay, 12 members of the board, including 6 people specializing in defended dissertation. This member of participants is sufficient for a quorum. Let me start the meeting with the Dissertation Council. So, permanent members, Turgimbayeva Ardak Nispekovna, chairman of Dissertation Council, Muhamediev Bulat Mintayevich, deputy chairman, Akuanova Laura Ibolovna, academic secretary, Sagieva Rima Kalmbekovna, Alibekova Gulnar Janatovna, and Dubina Igor Nikolaevich. Temporary members, Violeta Rostov, PhD, Associate Professor, Chalmers University of Technology, Gothenburg, Sweden, Svirina Anna Andreevna, Doctor of Economics Sciences, Professor, Kazan National Research Technical University, named after Tupolev, Chistopol, Russian Federation. Bekjanova Saulia Yertaevna, Doctor of Technical Sciences, Professor, Satpayev University, Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan. Tyulybayeva Dinara Muratbekovna, Candidate of Technical Sciences, Associate Professor, Kazakh German University, Almaty, Republic of Kazakhstan. Jumataeva Bakhjamal Ashimovna, PhD, Associate Professor, Isil University, Astana, Republic of Kazakhstan, and Sharibekova Kunduz Yermuhamedovna, PhD, Gumilev Eurasian National University, Astana, Republic of Kazakhstan. So, I declare the meeting of Dissertation Council open. On the agenda is the defense of the dissertation work by Moldabekova Aysulu Tursunbayevna on the topic improving quality of logistics services of dry ports within Eurasian transport corridors, based on the case study for Ghost Gateway on the specialty 6D090900, like logistics. The dissertation is submitted for the first time. Domestic scientific consultant, Doctor of Economics, Professor Sabden Orzala, Foreign Scientific Consultant, PhD, Associate Professor of the European Project Center, Wismar University of Applied Sciences, Germany, Anatoly Beifert, and official reviewers, Jivan Jagan, PhD, Associate Professor, Faculty of Maritime Studies, University of Malaysia, Terengganu, Kuala Neres, Malaysia, and Jantos Kigenbekov Kadirkhanovich, candidate of Technical Sciences, Associate Professor, Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology, Kazakh-German University, Almaty, Kazakhstan, specialty 05-2208, Management of Transportation Processes. A domestic scientific consultant is present. Positive reviews from domestic and foreign scientific consultants are available. Official reviewers are present. So, do the dissertation council members have any comments on the agenda? No? No comments.
No comments.
Okay, no comments. There is a proposal to approve the agenda. No objections. No. Okay. The agenda is approved anonymously. The word of presenting the personal documents of the applicant is given to the academic secretary of the dissertation council, PhD, Kuanova Laura Ibolna, please.
Thank you, Ardakh Nispekna, dear members of the dissertation council. Let me introduce the personal documents of Moldabekovai A Tursunbayevna. She is Kazakh, was born in 1990, married and has 3 children. She studied for a bachelor's degree from 2008 and 2010 and graduated from the magistracy in 2013 at Lomonosov Moscow State University. She studied from the doctoral degree in logistics at the Department of Business Technologies of Al-Farabi Kazakh National University from 2017 to 2020. The dissertation work of Moldabekova A on the title of Improving Quality of Logistics Services of Dry Ports within Eurasian Transport Corridors, based on the case of study Kharkov Gateway, was approved at the meeting of the Academic Council of the Al-Farabi Kazakh National University on 14 January 2021, order number 4121. And recommended to the defense after decision that was made based on the positive reviews and extended meeting at the Department of Business Technologies of Al-Farabi Kazakh National University by protocol number 11 dated January 18, 2022. Based on the materials of the dissertation thesis, 11 papers were published, 2 of them in journals included in the international database Scopus, 3 papers in scientific journals recommended by the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of Education and Science of Ministry of Education and Science of Republic of Kazakhstan, and 5 papers in materials of international scientific and practical conferences, and 1 subsection in the monograph. And ISLU has index, Hirsch Index 4. She began her career as a junior researcher at the Institute of Economics of the Science Committee of Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan, since 2018. She works as a researcher at the present. At the same time, she is the head of the Department of the Advanced Research Methods of the Institute of Economics and Science. In the personal file of the applicant, there are all the necessary documents submitted in accordance with the regulation of the Committee of Quality Assurance in the field of Science and Higher Education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The submitted materials meet the established requirements for the preparation of the dissertation for the defense of the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of Science and Higher Education. Defense is all of it, and thank you for attention. If you have any questions, I will glad to answer.
Okay, thank you, Laura Ivanovna. Do you have any questions? No?
No questions, Madam Speaker.
Okay, if not, please, the floor is given to the applicant for the presentation of the main content of the dissertation work. Please remember the time limit of 20 minutes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Speaker. Good afternoon, dear members of Dissertation Council and dear chairperson. Let me introduce the main result of dissertation titled Improving Quality of Logistics Services with dry port ports within Eurasian transport corridors based on the case study Khorgos Gateway. The relevance of the study justified by the fact that the development of transport and global supply chain and the conditions of the global pandemic and diversification of transport corridors between Europe and China and geopolitical crisis and digitalization and information industry 4.0 require a further development of transport and logistics infrastructure with improving logistics service quality. In this case, the aim of the thesis is to examine the theoretical and methodological approaches to the evaluation of dry ports and develop recommendations for further development, improving the quality of logistics services in terms of digitalization within the Eurasian transport corridors based on the case study Khorgos Gateway. For achieving this aim, the following tasks are performed. First of all, to study the conceptual foundations of dry ports and to study foreign practices and identify digital technologies for improving the logistics service quality. And next one is develop indicators and sub-indicators for assessing logistics service quality at dry ports. And next, to assess the impact of technological and digital technologies and innovational potential on logistics service quality, and to analyze the transit potential of country and level of application digital technologies in logistics sphere, and to conduct case study based on the case Khorgos Gateway, and last one, to develop the main directions of further development of improve the logistics service quality in transport corridors. And based on the study, we defined the main 6 scientific provisions. Let me start from first. First scientific provision. In the next slide, consists of the proposed the concept of dry port in intercontinental transport corridors and dry ports logistics services in terms of logistics 4.0, and based on the conceptual, based on the study conceptual analysis and bibliometric analysis, we identified that our first scientific provision, that a dry port of the continental transport corridor is first of all the logistic node and terminal center or hub of international land-based transport or logistics and economic corridors, and provides a wide range of transport and logistics services, including value-added services, with ensuring the quality of services and digital transparency on dry port operation and processes. And within second scientific provision, we conducted bibliometric network analysis, and the next slide shows the technologies of Industry 4.0 and their impact aspects on providing logistics services. Bibliometric network analysis allow us to conclude that appropriately using the digital technologies positively impact to logistics service quality, especially within the first scientific provision. We conclude that the digital technologies like Internet of Things, big data, blockchain technology has improved the logistics service quality of triports, especially in providing operational data, in digital transparency, optimization logistics, and establishing a flexible connection between various stakeholders in providing logistics services. The next slide consists of the research design of the dissertation. Within third scientific provision, we identified that for a systematic approach for assessing logistics service quality, first of all, at macro level, an assessment of influencing factors on logistics service quality, and second, at meso level, an analysis of transit potential of country and level of application of digital technologies in sphere transport and logistics. And finally, at micro level, we assessed the logistics service quality at triport, especially at Kharkovsky 2A. Within the third scientific provision, we developed the assessment tool for evaluating the logistics service quality of triports. Our assessment tool consists of 6 main dimensions and 37 sub-dimensions. Main dimensions of triport logistics service quality are availability of physical infrastructure, second, operation and processes quality, third, management and staff quality, 4, appropriating price for service quality, and 5, comprehensive use of ICT applications, and 6, last one is multimodality and value added services availability. For each dimension, sub-dimensions are given in the table. Then, within first scientific provision, we conducted correlation regression analysis. The next slide, the scheme below shows the research design for correlation and regression analysis. There are independent variables are overall global competitiveness index and sub-indexes. And second, digital economy and society index and sub-indexes, and dependent variables are overall logistic performance index and sub-indexes. In first step, we assess the sub-indexes global competitiveness in this technology and innovation impact on the overall logistic performance index. And we defined that there are coefficients beta in significance level, and in the next step we assess the technological readiness and innovation impact of technological readiness and innovation on sub-dimensions of logistic performance, and customs like customs, infrastructure, international shipments, logistic quality and competence, tracking and tracing, and timeliness. And we defined that overall coefficients of R squared have a high level and high coefficients, and there are coefficients of beta have a significance level, and we checked autocorrelation, and we checked F-test, and we conclude that technological readiness and innovation have a positive effect on sub-dimensions of logistic performance. In the next step, For detailed analysis of digital technologies, we assessed the impact of sub-dimensions DESI, Digital Economy and Society Indexes, on logistic performance sub-dimensions. And we identified that from DESI sub-dimensions in the table below, as you see, the digital connectivity and digital technology have a significance level, and in the next step we assess the sub-dimensions of connectivity and technology on logistic service quality, and we identify that from sub-dimensions DESI, especially internet services, especially professional social networks and big data, social media, e-commerce, and other digital technologies are critical parameters for improving logistic service quality. So, based on the regression and correlation analysis, we can conclude our first scientific provision that for technological readiness and innovational potential of country and digital technologies have a positive effect on improving the logistic service quality at macro level. Then, at meso level, using fifth scientific provision, we analyzed the Kazakhstan transit and transit potential and level of application of ICT in the provision logistic services. The first table below shows the railway transportation of goods in the Eurasian Economic Union countries. Then there is increase of cargo transportation, especially in Kazakhstan, and the volume of transit cargo by all modes of transport grows year by year. Then we can, as you see, that it should be noted that the main increase of increasing cargo associated with physical deterioration of transport and railway infrastructure. And there are low level of using ICT applications in providing logistic services, as you see from graphs 3 and 4. The next slide depicts the main Eurasian transport corridors and dry ports between Europe and China. And for case study, we choose the dry port, cross-border based dry port, Khorgos Gateway. And we conducted survey and interview, port observation. Then there are our results. And next slide shows the Khorgos Gateway Dry Ports Logistic Service Quality Index. The table below shows the overall quality index of Khorgos Gateway, 3.15, and the graph shows the main detailed results of the assessing for each sub-dimensions. And as you see that, especially for sub-dimensions ICT and service, additional services, providing additional services, there are low level of rate, especially sub-dimensions ICT 7, ICT 3, ICT 5, ICT 4, and sub-dimensions S3, S1, S2. This assessment based on our assessment tool with considering experts weighting for each sub-dimensions and assessment by customers of Khorgos Gateway. Then in the next step, we assess the score gaps for Khorgos Gateway, and the table below shows the high rate of gap scores, especially for appropriating price for the service quality and comprehensive use of ICT applications. There are a high level of gap scores, and for each sub-dimensions gap scores are presented in the graph. So based on the analysis of transit potential of the country and level of application in the provision logistics services at MESE level, and conducted a case study at Khorgos Gateway at micro level, we concluded our fifth scientific provision that for achieving high level of logistics service quality and for improving countries' transit potential, it should be developed digital technology, first of all, technological modernization of transport and logistic infrastructure, and second, digital modernization of transport and logistic objects of the country, especially dry ports, terminals, stations. Then our last scientific provision about ways for dry port logistics service quality improvement, and we defined three main directions for improving the logistics service quality of dry ports, especially within transport corridors. First of all, ensuring the quality. Second, digital transformation, and third, integration of international logistics networks. Then for each direction, we developed some recommendations. First of all, for improvement logistics services quality of dry ports based on the international standard organization. We adapted standards of international standard organization for dry ports. The schemes below depict the components of improving logistics service quality at dry ports, and adapted detailed activities for dry port operation and processes. And the next slide shows the potential and opportunities for the development of Khorgos Gateway dry port. We identified that some parameters less 3 like opportunities, and high of 3 like potential. There are for potential some parameters: human resource, multimodality, and other aspects of port development as a hub, and infrastructure and technological equipment and security. And as opportunities, we outlined the port, these parameters like port digitalization policy, ICT application in port processes in operations, and the possibility of using digital technologies. The next graph shows the stages of port development and the level of digitalization. According to the graph, Khorgos Gateway is a logistic port and monitored port, but Khorgos Gateway has a prospect to being a global port and a developer port, and its location in international transport corridors and containerization trends, helps to Khorgos, allow Khorgos to being a smart port and clear global port and supply chain management port. It's a prospects of further development of Khorgos Gateway. For this, it is suggested to introduce a dry port integrative system or platforms of providing logistics services, where all stakeholders can receive and send information in real time, and And in the next slide, based on case study, we identify introducing possibilities of digital technologies in dry port Khorgos Gateway. And we defined that some digital technologies in specific projects already have been implemented, but some digital technologies like Internet of Things and cloud computing, big data, blockchain using are not available and usage not planned. For digital transformation of Khorgos dry port, there are suggested to introduce digital technologies step by step. And there are recommendations for the development of soft infrastructure along the Eurasian transport corridors based on macro level, meso level, and micro level. So in conclusion, we can conclude that dry ports of international importance in land, especially in land-based transport corridors, have the prospect of developing as logistics hub, or in the future how cluster, maybe cluster, and by improving the logistic service quality and transport logistic infrastructure, our country can integrate into the international transport networks and trade hubs. And in this case, it is important to ensure the quality of services and develop digitalization of central nodes like dry ports. Yeah? And dry ports should become driver of economic growth of our country and increase our country's transit potential. There are some implementation acts from Khorgos Gateway, from Kaz Logistics, Transport and Logistic Organization of Kazakhstan, and from Institute Economics and Wismar University, and from German Academy Exchanging Service program. There are some pictures from port observation. My presentation is over. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Aysulo Tursunbayevna. The report is over. What questions will be for the applicant? You are welcome. Okay. Anna Zvirina, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for the deep insights into your dissertation. And I have a couple of questions that might shed light on maybe something that I was missing from your speech. So you have mentioned that you have tested autocorrelation in your study, but there is also a problem with the statistical analysis, which might be caused by multicollinearity, and the choice of the factors that you have provided kind of suggests that it can be a problem. So my question was if you have somehow assessed it maybe in the dissertation and just that I missed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna Andreevna. Please. Who is next? Okay.
I can ask. I can ask.
Bulat Mintevich? Yes, okay. Please, Bulat Mintevich.
I also want to ask you about the methods for your conclusions. What models did you use? Panel data model or time series? First, and I also want to ask if you use time series data, as asked previous member of our council. Did you check data for stationary? These are my two questions.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, could you clarify? Did you check what?
Did you check stationary то есть time series data for stationarity. For
Okay, I
stationarity.
see. Okay.
If you use time series data, you have to check them for stationarity when we use. In other case, you can receive not good results.
Okay.
Thank you.
May I ask a question, please?
Okay, Igor Nikolaevich, please.
Actually, I have two questions. The first one is pretty general. I didn't see the problem situation. What's the problem in your research object? In your logistics service market or your special research object in your special company? What's the problem you try to decide, to try to solve? And how, if you solved it, what's the economic effect? At least expected economic effect. This is a pretty general question. The next one, you mentioned some mathematical models. How did you evaluate the quality of those models in terms of adequacy, in terms of errors, in terms of statistical significance, and how those models helped you to solve? This is a connection with my first question. How those models helped you to solve your problematic situation? Two questions. So.
Thank you, Igor Nikolaevich. Two questions, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Please, who is next? Kunduz Yermuhamedovna. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I have one question. You gave the scientific study of foreign experience and the network bibliographic analysis, and you're telling that Horgus Gateway, it's about six conclusion. Could you give me exact foreign experiences are most suitable for our country? Yes, is it clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Laura Bolna, please.
Thank you, Radosny Spigna. I also have actually three questions. The first one, I saw, is according your scoring method. I was really impressed about the methodology, how you try to manage them, yeah. And the question, according the this scoring, yeah, how many experts' opinion did you use, yeah? How many weights and criteria, I mean indicators, did you use? And the main, what was your main results? I mean, you find some scores, yeah, and what did you conclude according to this, especially for Kazakhstan? Yeah, it's the first question. The second question is about your last section of your third chapter. Yeah, it is seen that it's very short. I just like to ask why it is not proportional with your other sections. Yeah, and I have also last question of your slide, the recommendations, which you gave 2.1 from your slide. It was the opportunities and potential. And I just would like to clarify what is difference between that potential and opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura Bolna. Please, next. Saule Irtaevna, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have few questions. First question, Aysu, have you considered how the infrastructure of the Republic of Kazakhstan meets the requirement for the transportation of goods along the Trans-Caspian International Transport Road? This is first question. And next, what bottlenecks have you identified? And the last question, what risks do you see in provided services in the dry port of Khargos? Thank you.
Thank you, Solirtaevna. Gulnar Janatovna.
Thank you, Aysu Tursunbayevna. I have two questions. Why did you choose those indices like GCI, DAISY, LPI for regressional analysis? And the second is, what barriers did you reveal in introducing digital technologies to logistic services? Thank you.
Thank you, Gulnar Janatovna. Next, please, Violeta Rosso.
Hi, thank you. Thank you all for nice questions, and thank Aysu for nice presentation. You know what kind of question you can expect from me as a dry port expert. So I would go like on the basic of your thesis, and one of the first conclusions in which you say that a dry port can be any logistic facility with or without the connection to a seaport. And in the work you do relate to my definition of a dry port, which claims that it has to have a connection to a seaport, and then the other authors who build upon that and developed further that, like Wilsmeyer with the inside-out, outside-in model of a dry port, which all hint into the connection with the seaport. So I would just like some sort of elaboration on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Violeta. Next, Dinara Muratbekovna. Okay, please.
Thank you for your presentation, and I have two questions. You propose integrating Kazakhstan into the international transport network by ensuring uninterrupted cargo flows. What will ensure uninterrupted cargo flows? And secondly, did you take into account the available capacity of transport corridors, logistic infrastructure, railway infrastructure, the processing capacity?
Okay, thank you, Dinara Muratbekovna. Next, Jivan Jagan, please.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate Ms. Aysu for a great presentation and a great work. And then my question will be on the motivation of the research. So basically what I found here is the motivation of the research are based on the political view. So I would like to hear maybe on the academic view or on the managerial view, what are the motivation that has pushed Aysu to do a research on dry port, especially in the Kazakhstan region and also in Euro-Asian regions. My second question is about the methodology, about the explanatory sequential design. I would like to see how Aysu has did the mixing part in this mixed method design to get a very significant outcome in this research. Thank you.
Thank you, Jivan Jagan. Please, Rima Kalmbekovna.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I have only one question to Aysu. In the context of geopolitical crisis, what are the prospects for the Eurasian transport corridors? Thank you.
Thank you, Rima Kalmbekovna. One question only. Okay. Okay, who is next? Who?
Hello, I have two questions. My first question is, could you explain what a soft transport and logistics infrastructure includes and why it's important to develop? My second question is, what is the future prospect of this study? Thank you.
Thank you, Dinara Muratbekovna. Bahar-Jamal, okay. Bahar-Jamal Ashimovna. So, who is next?
Yes, quite much.
In total, we have 21 questions, right? Laura Ibolna?
Yeah, you're right. It's going to 21 questions.
21 questions. No?
It looks like
other
enough.
questions?
From my point of view, it's quite enough. More than more.
Yeah, it's enough, I think.
Okay. Okay. Aysu? Aysu,
Of course, I need time for
if you need additional
Yes.
time to prepare for question, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we can give the floor to scientific consultants. So we give the floor to the domestic scientific consultant of the applicant, Doctor of Economics, Professor Sabdin Orzalı, for the announcement of the review. Please.
Good afternoon, dear Chairman and members of the Association Council. I'm assistant of Professor Orzalı Sabdin, as he has forethought. Could you let me to read his speech instead of him?
Okay, okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, dear members of the Association Council. I'm very glad to meet all of you today. Thank you for taking part in the discussion. Nowadays, special attention is paid to the development of the dry ports within the Trans-Eurasian land transport corridors between Europe and China. To fully use Kazakhstan's transit potential, it is essential to develop a soft logistics infrastructure. Therefore, research on dry ports within land-based corridors on the new Silk Road is relevant and highly significant. The scientific novelty of the dissertation research lies in developing theoretical and methodological approaches for assessing the quality of logistic services of dry ports and identifying ways to improve the quality of logistics services of dry ports. The dissertation meets all the requirements for dissertation and consists of theoretical and methodological and practical recommendations. The scientific findings include, first of all, the author's definition of the term dry port, the methodological approaches for assessing the quality of service of dry ports. Like it consists the evaluation of the impact of technological innovative development, and digital technologies on quality of logistics services. Also, it includes the role of dry ports in increasing the transit potential of Kazakhstan. In general, ISLU conducted comprehensive research and presented herself as talented researcher, systematic work in dry port and transport corridor research and scientific activity enabled ISLU Moldabeková to exchanging program. She is also member to exchanging program. ISLU achieved 1 year internship from that German Academy exchanging program. She is also a member of research group for grant projects and program funded research by the scientific community of Ministry of Science and Higher Education of Republic of Kazakhstan. The dissertation's recommendations can be used in the development of logistics infrastructure of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Dissertation of Moldabeková A with title Improving Quality of Logistics Services of Dry Ports within Eurasian Transport Corridors, based on the case study Hormuz Gateway, is pioneer work in the study of logistics service quality and digitalization use of dry ports in Eurasian space, and recommended for awarding the academic degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 60090900 Logistics. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Rzal Sargenovich. We give the floor to the foreign scientific consultant of the applicant, PhD, Associate Professor of the European Project Center, Wismar University of Applied Sciences, Anatoly Beford, for the announcement of the review. Please.
Thank you very much. Honorable members of dissertation committee, my warmest greetings to you. Thank you, ISLU, for the presentation. I would, from my side, I would provide just a short reflection, looking back at last years in the framework of the preparation of the doctor thesis of ISLU. Well, first of all, I would like to underline the relevance of the work, not only for Kazakhstan, but also in the interregional and international perspective. As we are well aware that the importance of the dry or land-based corridors between China and Europe, it has a very dynamic and increasing potential. And knowing this, and in spite of all the geopolitical crises we are experiencing right now, the importance of this corridor will enormously grow also in the future. And in this context, knowing potential key players and especially bottlenecks will play a very crucial role for analysis and decision makers, both on policy level and the business side level. I mean, it's not a secret that if we take a look at hard factors and soft factors while looking at dry ports, especially then, it was already known that one of the main reasons why, for example, the land-based corridor was not so efficient, and these bottlenecks, we can clearly address to the hard, I mean, to the soft-based factors. And yeah, we are aware that the hard-based factors like infrastructure and technological readiness of the hotspots along the corridor are quite developed, but especially the soft factors as the competences capacity, human capacity, service quality, it plays a really crucial role in the efficiency of such corridors. In this context, the work which has been provided and done by ISOLU, highly appreciated from my side. What I would like to underline is that, as you are aware, in the German academic field, such kind of statements as freedom of research and freedom of academic activity, it's stipulated in the national law. And these are not the empty words. And I was happy that ISOLU had a chance to work in the framework of a number of EU-funded projects related to logistics and small sea port development at the Baltic Sea region area. And why I'm saying this is that this freedom of research means, among other things, is the responsibility. So sometimes the researchers or scientists in Germany, it goes without saying, they are requested to work in unstructured and fuzzy scientific environment. When the work is not structured and not highly regulated. And I want to underline that during the work at Lisbon University of Applied Sciences, ISOLU demonstrated the highest ability to work independently, to structure the work from the scientific point of view, to contribute a lot to the success of the implemented EU-funded projects related to logistics development, seaports development. ISOLU contributed in preparation of a number of scientific articles, and in this context, I congratulate ISOLU with those achievements, and I wish her success. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anatoly Beifert and Urzal Satyanovich. So, the applicant, please answer the questions. ISOLU.
Yes, I'm here. May I start answering the questions? Thank you very much for so important questions for my study. And the first question was from Professor Anna Andreevna about the culinarity issue. I agree with you. The culinarity issue is important for regression models, and I would like to show the results of culinarity. We checked the culinarity, and there are results of culinarity statistics. And as you know that, we know that culinarity statistics between 1 and 5 is normal, and in our model, our culinarity statistics is 3.2, and that's why we conclude our variables to our models, and we checked our hypothesis. Thank you very much for so important questions for regression analysis. And the second question from Professor Polat Mintayevich was about data for regression analysis. And also I would like to show our data for analysis and explain some moments for understanding. Just a moment. for assess to impact of global competitiveness index on LPI, we used the panel data, of course, time series data. Just a moment. And database, I would like to show the database, and we checked autocorrelation and other tests, F-tests, and we checked for assessing stationarity, we used the test of Fuller. The test of Dickey-Fuller. As you see, there are countries and years for time series analysis from 2007 until 2018 for 29 countries, including Eurasian countries. Then we checked Dickey-Fuller test and autocorrelation F-test, and there are positive results, and we used this data for further analysis for developing regression models in our research. Also, thank you very much.
Results we are checking. Results we are checking.
Yeah.
And additionally, I have to ask about the problem of indigeneity in panel data.
Just a moment. Okay. There are absence Fuller Dickey tests, but there are only in my results only Darwin-Watson test and F-test and significance level and collinearity diagnostics. But we checked it.
Dickey-Fuller test, you said?
Yeah.
Where are results? Okay, you cannot quickly find.
In my table there are not, but we checked using SPSS program. We checked it. There are positive results for using these models, this time series for regression analysis, but I will show maybe after some time. And next question was about from Professor Igor Nikolaevich about the problem statement, about problem situation of our topic. Problem statement is justified in chapter in introduction and in chapter 2.1, 2.2, because there are analytical chapters of dissertation, and we underlined that our country has a good hard infrastructure. Yeah, we invested a lot of huge investment on hard infrastructure, but in the same time we have a low level of investment to soft infrastructure, especially logistic performance index shows the low level of logistic service quality and competence for our country. In last index, we had place 91 in logistic services, especially related to competence and quality of logistic services. It's a big challenges. It's a big issue for our country, especially for transit country between Europe and China. That's why we choose this topic. In our aim of dissertation, we underlined that we study logistic service improvement, logistic service quality in terms of digitalization. This is related to soft infrastructure. And our models, especially related to your question, how our model solved this problem. Yeah, in our model, especially we checked the impact of technological readiness and innovational potential and digital technologies on improving logistic service quality. Yeah, especially in transportation goods, in custom clearance. Yeah, and then we identified that high level of logistic services is achieved using technological modernization of infrastructure and digital modernization. And with models, we solved the problem that we need invest to digital modernization of our country's transport and logistic infrastructure, and especially using the equation models. Yeah, we can calculate how level of investment influence to the technological and digital modernization of transport and logistic infrastructure. Thank you very much for so interesting and discussable question. I will consider it in my other study, of course. And your second question was related to checking quality of regression models. Yeah, as you see, I showed some tests, and of course we checked autocorrelation F-test and the level of significance. Yeah, using SPSS program. And in the slide, I showed the results of significance test, and of course, we checked all of them tests because the results of regression analysis we published in journals, in the international journals, and we had a lot of some comments from reviewers, and we checked, and all of them significance level and other tests, especially quality of models. In the dissertation, I included some results of quality of models related to some tests. I can show it.
Ardacti speaker, may I give a comment, a very brief comment right now or later?
Okay, please.
First of all, Aysulu, don't worry. You have a good work. You have a good researcher. But I expected that you could formulate it or defined your problem you tried to solve in just one sentence, in just a few words. And I expected that you could define the effect of your suggestions your recommendations in order to define the problem you identified. That's all. I just expected two sentences. That's all, or 2 paragraphs.
Can I outline my speech? Main problems related to soft infrastructure of our country, and our suggestions related to improving the logistics service quality and digital transformation of our logistics and transport infrastructure of Kazakhstan by investing, by introducing international standard organization standards and digital transformation. Yeah,
that's fine, but what's economic effect? What's economic effect of your
economic effect? Of course, I underlined in chapter 2.1 for improving transit potential of country. Transit potential, it's a huge
what's
income
economic
for
effect
our
in money, in tenge?
Yeah, in tenge, of course, I didn't calculate it, but economic efficiency. But in the future, maybe it's a topic for new paper. Yeah,
Okay.
because transit potential, big income for our budget.
It's a good reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much for idea. Okay, next question was from Dr. Kunduz Sharpekovna about foreign experiences. Yeah, what countries' experiences suitable for Kazakhstan? In our work, we studied experiences from China experiences, European countries experiences, and USA countries. And for geographical space, yeah, for geographical and our Chinese experience is most suitable for our country, because our country has same dry ports like in China, yeah, city-based dry ports, cross-border based dry ports, yeah, but for digitalization, European countries dry ports practices is the best. Because there are high level of digitalization, especially near some Hamburg, some dry ports, and some hinterland ports ports have a high level of digitalization. And for further development as cluster and logistic hub, United Stations dry ports for us so suitable also prospects, best practices. Thank you very much for interesting question. And next question was from Dr. Laura Ibolovna related to scoring method and other question. Yeah, first of all, scoring methods we used in our work. Scoring method, especially for expert survey results, we calculated based on scoring method. First of all, we develop assessment tool. Yeah, for I would like to demonstrate. We develop assessment tool for assessing logistics service quality. Sorry. And we checked each sub-dimensions for importance and checked weighting factors, weights for each sub-dimension. Yeah. Yeah, I show my dissertation, and there are methodological part. and our each subdimension assessed by global experts from China, from Malaysia, from Russian, and from European countries. Overall, we formed a list of experts, yeah, and after that we sent our questionnaire for experts, and finally we received 19 completed questionnaire. Then the results we calculated based on this formula when we identify and we defined for each subdimensions weighting coefficients, weighting categories for each subdimensions. There are results how we calculated, and local and global weightings for each dimension and subdimension. I'm sorry.
Ayslu, actually, can I comment here?
Yeah, just a moment. I would like show weights for each subdimension and for main dimensions. Yeah. Okay, Laura Pavlovna, you can.
Ms. Bekovna, could I add the comment?
Okay.
The main question of this method, what is interesting for me, was what did you find from these calculations related to Kazakhstan? Did you find something
yes,
interesting and usable for us? Thank you.
These results of scoring method, yeah, expert survey results, we used in the logistic service quality index. After assessing our Khorgost report by consumers, we consider these weights for calculating final index. And there are, you can see that some coefficients for some subdimensions low level, yeah, especially Khorgost Gateway has a good infrastructure, yeah, for first dimension, but there are low level of coefficients. And final, our index for infrastructure is low, yeah, because there are weighting factors low, weights low, yeah, and we assess it helps us to objectively objective assess the Khorgost Gateway logistic service quality.
Laura, microphone.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Okay, thank you. And your second question was related, just a minute. Yeah, your second question related for my last chapter in my dissertation, yeah, 3.2 is short than other chapter because its chapter is recommendational and practical part. And based on our dissertation, we develop report for stakeholders for 30 pages. Just a minute. Yeah, this report based on our dissertation, and there are a lot of practical recommendations for stakeholders, and these results of report we sent to stakeholders, to logistic providers, to Khorgost Gateway, to Kaz Logistics, to government institutions, and this report is published in open sources sites, and that's why we can't include all of them text to my chapter, but in this chapter I included source link for this report.
Okay, thank you.
And your third question, yeah, related about recommendations about the potential and opportunity of triport research, triport digitalization. Just a moment. Your question related to potential and opportunities. We underlined potential and opportunities for further development of Horgoz Gateway Triport based on the case study. And we checked all of them parameters, yeah. And in appendix, I included the checking list. And after that, we calculated average scores for each parameters, and parameters less than 3 we underlined as opportunities, and parameters high than 3, yeah, 3.0, we identify like potential, because our assessment rate from 1 to 5, yeah, and 3 it's a middle. And we underlined that best sites of potential and low sites as opportunities for development. Yeah.
As I understand, yeah, you mean that opportunities, what will happen in near future, yeah, and the potential, it is the potential for future development. Am I right?
Yeah, no, potential is near the future, and opportunities for further future. Yeah, is can I see? Yeah, as I can say. Yeah, because there are potential has a high coefficient, yeah, and opportunities opportunities have low coefficients.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for interesting questions. And next question was from Professor Saule Yertaevna about bottlenecks and some restricts, or yeah, maybe of our infrastructure in develop Trans-Caspian Road, yeah, middle corridor, yeah. And I would like to combine the questions from Professor Rima Kalembekovna too, because your question was related about future perspective of Eurasian transport corridors in terms of geopolitical crisis, yeah, because in terms of geopolitical crisis, there are main transport corridors, especially Trans-Caspian road. Trans-Caspian roads, there are so important, so essential nowadays. Then I would like to combine these two questions, if it possible, yeah. And in condition of geopolitical crisis, yeah, as I mentioned, the TRASECA, the European Caucasus Asia Transport Corridor, and the middle corridor, Saule Aktaevna mentioned about it, the middle corridor, Trans-Caspian International Transport Road. These corridors, and of course international north source corridor, yeah, from Russian across Caspian Sea and to other Gulf, Persian Gulf countries, yeah. These three main Trans-Caspian corridors are essential, and we can see that there are huge of the cargo transportation, yeah, but there are some problems, yeah, bottlenecks from restricts or barriers to cargo transportation in international direction. Especially there are hard infrastructure problems related to Caspian Sea. We need develop some ship infrastructure, especially for ship transportation, yeah, because our country has a continental transport corridors and some railway transportation, yeah, we has good practices, but in sea transportation we need to develop our infrastructure, hard infrastructure, and in parallel soft infrastructure related to harmonization of some tariff regulation among Caspian Sea countries, yeah, and other problems related to freight traffic along these corridors, because there are huge interest from European side and from Chinese, yeah, for diversification our transport routes, yeah, despite Russian. And this way, in this case, it is a huge opportunity, for Kazakhstan for improving our transit potential, of course, for further development of our transport and logistic infrastructure. And of course, investigating the barriers of Trans-Caspian roads, yeah, I think it's a big problem and a big question, yeah, and in the future, maybe in other project or maybe as a study, we will investigate it, yeah, because it's crucial nowadays. Thank you very much for interesting questions to Professor Rima Kalmbekovna and Saulia Aktayevna. And next question was related indexes from Dr. Gulnaz Janatovna. About indexes, why we choose these indexes for regression and correlation analysis. Yeah, because first of all, we conducted literature review and we defined that from factors, especially technological modernization and digital technologies, yeah, most impact on logistic services. And after that, which we wanted to assess, first of all, at macro level. For macro level, we choose we considered a lot of indexes and choose logistic performance index because this index represent logistic service quality at macro level, especially for custom clearance problem, for trade and tracing, for some logistic competence, yeah. And after that, we choose for technological modernization, global competitiveness index and sub-indexes, innovation and global technological readiness of country. And these indexes represent this issue at macro level and state level, yeah. And for detailed analysis of impact of digitalization, some digital technologies, yeah, we used digital society, digital economy and society indexes.
Okay, thank you.
Us, thank you. And your next question, yeah, was related about barriers of introducing digital technologies in our country, yeah. Thank you very much for so important question, because there are several barriers for introducing digital technologies. First of all, there are low investing from government, from logistic companies, yeah. And second, there are demand and there are low deficient of ICT specialists in transport and logistics, especially related to digital technologies. And third, maybe third barriers, yeah, some socio-cultural factors for being transparency. because introducing blockchain or other digital technologies require transparency for all processes. Yeah, so you know that some corruption or some problems in transportation restricts for introducing these technologies.
Okay, thank you. One more barrier is, I think, low level of competition in the economy of Kazakhstan as well.
Yeah, of course, some industrialization problems, some diversification of industry.
Thank you.
This is one of the barriers because it influenced to investment. Okay. Next question from Professor Dr. Violeta Rosa was about some inside out and outside in directional development of dry port. Yeah, in my work I used your concept related dry port. Yeah, but my concept is has different. Yeah, has difference. Because I consider dry ports in intercontinental transport corridors, in land, especially in landlocked country like Kazakhstan, and that's why my directional development, inside out, outside in, differences in some hinterland ports, some dry ports in European dry ports, especially. And I can underline some directions in outside in. First of all, our dry ports, especially Khargos Gateway, is a gateway for Chinese freight. Because in the direction Central Asia, in direction to Europe, to Russian, to other Persian Gulf countries, countries, because there are, you know that there are different gauges in railway transportation. And all of them freight from China, we need transfer to post-Soviet Union transport railway gauges, and or transfer to changing modes of transportation from rail to auto or to auto to rail. In this context, we is a gateway from China freight, and second, we dry port Khargos Gateway is expanding for infrastructure of cross-border state station Altınkol. Altınkol is a state station for custom clearance, but this station is small, and in this case, Khargos Gateway is a additional infrastructure for custom clearance and warehousing. And third direction, inside, outside, in, we Khargos Gateway do transportation with Caspian seaports. Of course, the long way, but we, in partnership with our seaports, we we do transportation in international direction, Caspian, Khargos Gateway, the other ports, hinterland ports for Caspian seaports, But in another hand, our dry port Khargos Gateway especially has a essential direction outside in, or inside out. because dry port, because Khargos Gateway a node or central node for regional terminals of Kazakhstan, and based on hub and spoke conception theory, Khargos Gateway is a logistic hub for regional terminals, transport logistics centers, and third, dry ports and especially Khargos dry port is a driver for regional, for socio-economical development of region, of especially Almaty region, because near Khargos dry port there are new district Nurkent, and new workplaces for local people, and there are quality of life, improving quality of life, and other socio-economical influencing for regional development. And third, I would like to underline that Khargos Gateway is situated in special economic zone. And in the future, maybe Khargos Gateway could be a cluster of transport logistic clusters or industrial cluster, part of industrial cluster. And so I underlined some perspectives or some business operations in outside in and inside out direction. Thank you very much for your interesting question, Dr. Violeta Rosa.
Thank you. I would just like then to underline, thank you for your thorough elaboration. I would just still like to underline that despite the infrastructural issues, different gauges and issues with connections with the seaport, you still do have a connection to seaport with all of these facilities. So that's why I thought that there was a very strong statement in the first conclusion that dry ports you are studying have no links to seaports. That was just my point.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
You.
You underlined in your conception too about it, the dry ports operated with seaports, But in our case, in another hand, the dry ports operated in intercontinental transport corridors, to providing logistics services. Okay, thank you very much. And next question from Dr. Dinara Muratbekovna was about ensure interruption cargo transportation, how we ensure interrupted cargo transportation in international direction, and which capacity for achieving it, availability, and how we improve it. Thank you very much for important question for improving transit potential of our country, because interruption cargo transportation is important, is essential for transit cargo through Kazakhstan, plus Kazakhstan territory, and for achieving this aim, for improving interrupted cargo transportation, we need transparency of transportation goods, from China to Kazakhstan, because there are some statistics, in transportation, and there are some barriers from some government, from some other port administrations, and it negative effect to cargo transportation. And for solving this problem, we suggested to digital transformation our transport and logistic infrastructure, with improving logistic service quality. It is main issue for achieving this aim. Thank you very much for your questions, Dinara Muratbekovna. And next question from Dr. Jaganjivan was about academical, managerial perspectives, prospects of my study, yeah, about academic issues, yeah. Of course, you mentioned that my work filled geographical gaps, yeah, in the dry port research, yeah, and in academic sphere, in academic view, in my opinion, our study fills a gap about related dry port research in intercontinental transport corridors, in dry line, in continental transport corridors, yeah, in research based on the land, especially for landlocked countries with huge territory. And of course, academical issue of my work is investigating logistic service quality, yeah, and digitalization processes of dry port development. In terms digitalization, in terms logistic 4.0, yeah, it's crucial, especially for Eurasian countries, yeah, because we participated in international transportation between Europe and China, and it's has of course managerial implications, managerial recommendations for improving the logistic service quality. And thank you very much for your question. And your second question related to my methodology, yeah, how I include, how I mixed my data, how I used the mixed methods, especially explanatory sequential design, yeah. Yes, I agree with you. Some details in my work is don't describe it, yeah, but in research design, yeah, in research design of dissertation, we underlined that how data we collected at macro level. After that, we collected data at meso level, yeah, and after that we collected data at micro level. And of course, there are logical way, yeah, some logical basis of this work lies in results of this data analysis from macro to meso to micro level, because at macro level we identify justified statistical analysis, yeah, and in meso level we described these results in country, in Kazakhstan level, yeah, and after that at micro level with qualitative data from Khorgos Gateway, we conducted case study, and we used some results from macro and meso level data analysis. It helps us for deeper for conducting deeper analysis at micro level.
Okay,
but yeah, I see you. But I see you in the future. Yeah, I maybe in writing paper, maybe I will describe detailed methodology and mixed point. Yeah, mixed point for describing results. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think it is valuable advice for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Aisulum. If I might, it was a very great and thorough explanation that you have gave us. So about the motivation, because basically, we want to know what are the issues about the quality of logistics service in dry ports, especially in Kazakhstan, because Kazakhstan, we understand, is the largest landlocked region in the world. So maybe they have some issues with Chinese port, with Russian port, and so on. So maybe we can see what are that could be your great motivation to do your research by emphasizing the usage, the service quality of dry ports in your nation. So maybe that will be great motivation, great backup for your research. And then about the methodology, I would say that even though you are following your logical instinct or the logical view, but for research we need something significant to hold everything in one bowl, you know. So otherwise it will affect the result, the outcome. So basically you have done a very good job in terms of the methodology, but if you may add in your future about these minor parts, it will create a very intense and very significant outcome, and it will also support your motivation of your research by very good research outcome. Right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Many thanks. The next question was from Rima Kalmbekna, but I answered it about the perspectives of Eurasian transport corridors in terms of geopolitical crisis. And next question was from Bakıtkul Jumat Ashimovna, related to soft infrastructure, importance of soft infrastructure, and future prospects of my study. Thank you very much for interesting questions. As I mentioned, soft infrastructure is an important things for transportation, especially soft infrastructure includes logistic service quality and regulation processes, low regulation processes, and digitalization, ICT support processes, and roadside providing some additional services based on roadside, based on railway transportation. There are a lot of aspects of soft infrastructure, and I described it at chapter 3.1. Then, of course, I would like to underline the importance. The absence of soft infrastructure has a negative effect on transport and logistic infrastructure because you know that we have a big transport road, Western China and Western Europe. There are huge investment from World Bank, but there are, you know, that low level of soft infrastructure. It is regarding some providing some additional services, some services along this roadside. In this case, we need to improve the soft infrastructure, and it's essential for every transportation by road, by rail, by airplane, maybe. And your second question was related my future prospects of my study. Of course, how mentioned Dr. Jivan Jigan, there are some prospects of my work. Maybe in the future I will collect the data from Russian and Chinese dry ports based on Eurasian transport corridors, for comparable assess the service quality and digitalization processes. And its first direction, and second direction based on assessment tool, logistic service quality and digitalization, you can assess the other transport and logistic infrastructure of Kazakhstan, because you know that we have a lot of terminals, transport logistics centers and other dry ports in our country, and our assessment tool helps us to assess it. And third direction, in the future, I would like to assess the transport corridors, especially Trans-Caspian transport corridors, barriers of Trans-Caspian transport corridors. In this work, I considered logistic objects and logistic transport infrastructure like dry port, but in the future, by moving the freight, I would like to assess the transport corridors, it's a perspective of my work. Thank you very much for your question. I think I answered all of them questions, If you have any additional questions or comments. Are you ready?
Are you done? Eso.
I saw Ardachni Spikna is asking, did you finish? Ardachni Spikna, actually, Aislu said that she finished. Ardachni Spikna? Ardachni Spikna, we can hear you. We can continue.
Yes. I'm sorry. So, Aisulu. Aisulu, are you done?
Aisulu seems answered all the questions. We can proceed.
Oraibolna.
Yeah, Dr. Spikna, Aislu finished it. We can continue our defense to turn to the reviewers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The floor is given to the first official reviewer. First official reviewer, PhD, Associate Professor of University of Malaysia, Terengganu, Jagan.
All right. Thank you to the committee members. So shall I read one by one everything?
You just can underline the necessary and best things. Thank you.
Okay. So better I go one by one so I can read the main points for each section. Yeah. So for number one, the topic of the thesis as the date is of its approval correspond to the directions of the development of science and or states programs. I think when I look to the documents provided by Aisulu and also Dr. Laura, I found that it is the main evidence provided and the thesis aligned with the government's agenda and also to the university's requirements. Okay. For number two, importance of science, dry port research, especially in the world's largest landlocked country, is significantly important. The thesis has covered the service quality advancement in dry ports, the importance of transport corridors in dry ports, and the infusion of digitalization in the dry ports operations. The concept to increase the quality of logistics service in this country is in high demand due to the geographical factor. So this has been covered by the candidate. And then the number three, the principle of independence. Most of the published papers of the researchers has taken the responsibility to be the first author. It shows that it has been she has been the main author to gain the information and to write to frame the manuscript. This indicates the significant responsibility and possessing the ability to conduct the research independently. Okay, number four, the principle of inner unity. The rationalization of the thesis can be seen in the first chapter. the information on relevance of topic, connection of thesis with current research agenda, purpose, objective of the research have been presented consistently. Okay, the content of thesis reflect to the topics of the thesis. In general, the content of the thesis has been presented with substantial evidence. Chapter 1 indicating the method that have been employed in this research. However, the space for theory is remain unclear in this section. So the development of the conceptual framework will be suggested in this chapter. The remaining chapters have been reflected the content clearly. Number 4.3, the purpose of objective correspond to the topic of the thesis. The purpose and objective is corresponding to the topic of the research. The objective of the research has been carefully organized in each chapter so that it can be achieved accordingly. Number 4.4, all sections and provisions of the thesis are logically interconnected. The content in the thesis is logically interrelated. However, the problem statement of the research is not strong. I would suggest the candidate to add some problem statement or the motivation of the research so that the content of each chapter can be justified. Number 4.5, the new solutions, principal methods proposed by the author are reasoned and evaluated in the comparison with the known solutions. I would say that candidate has done a detailed independent research to explore the new paradigm in the dry port research, especially in the Eurasian transport corridors. However, I would like to add that the connection with the Eurasians with seaport need to be emphasized. Scientific novelty principle. As indicated so far, the research has been presented with well-justified evidence and proves its novelty and the expansion of the knowledge. The novelty of the research is expressed by following ways: clear objective and well-designed content. Robust methodology has been employed to meet the research questions, exploring the nation dry ports logistics service as an international agenda, and clearly indicates the contribution of the research throughout the manuscript. 5.2, the dissertation, are the decision's findings new? This research filling the gap from geographical perspective. The case of Kazakhstan with relation to Eurasian transport corridor, reflecting the freight system is unable to perform independently and it requires a supporting component to be more effective. What I mean by supporting component is about the digitalization and also the connection with the seaports. 5.3, technical, technological, economic, or management decisions are new and reasonable. These 4 component decisions have been portrayed in the findings. It's proven that the thesis has been contributed to the development or expansion of the knowledge from these 4 elements. Number 6, the validity of the main findings. The conclusion is written well and the content in the section has been well grounded based on the proposed objective. The rationalization of the research objective, methodology, findings, and conclusion has been done very well. Okay, the main provision of the defense. The candidate outlines 6 scientific provisions. Okay, basically all the content is the provision proven. Yes, it is proven. Okay, and basically she has published 4 papers and which reflecting the content of the thesis itself. So we have no issue in that. About the number 2, systematic approach to assessing the quality of the logistic service of dry port in international transport corridors is defined, which implies complexity at the macro level and assessment of the factors influencing the logistic service at the meso level and analysis of the country's transit potential and application of digital technologies. So this is the main content, then it has been proven as well. Based on the correlation regression analysis of secondary data, it was revealed that the innovation, development, the level of technological readiness of the country and digital technologies have been positive effect on the improving the quality of logistics service, trade and transport infrastructure, competence and quality of the logistics service. The efficiency of the custom clearance process and cargo tracking is also proven. Okay, so point number 4, number 5, and until number 7, until number 8 is all proven, so I have no issue on that. On number 8, the principle of reliability of sources information provided. The methodology has been well executed in this research. As an additional point, the procedure, justification, sampling strategy, and mixing point can be included to make the thesis more solid from the methodological point of view. Further, the common method bias, since the candidate employing mixed method research, So the common method bias can be proposed to ensure there is no significant biasness between qualitative and quantitative outcomes. Okay. Number 8.2, software has been adopted to analyze the result and propose objective for the proposed objectives. Number 8.3, the comment of the research and the development of each central argument have been proven and confirmed concerning the execution of research of each of the research aim and objective identified in the study. Okay, number 8.4, the statements are confirmed and authenticated by the literature. The informed and well-read nature of the research is evidenced by the reference list containing the leading material in the literature. Okay, number 8.5, use literature source as sufficient for literature review. Yes, the candidate has been used more recent literature to support their manuscript. However, referring to the motivation of the research, most of the literature were based on political views, on the newspapers views, so it will be reducing the quality of the thesis. I would suggest that if there are some strong academic literature that can be added, it will be nice. Thesis has theoretical value. The research has been developed based on the quality of the logistic service of dry ports. The result and findings of the research are expected to inform the new academic studies that can be utilized for the managerial contribution. Okay. The thesis is of practical importance and there is a high probability of applying the result obtained in practice. The outcome of the thesis can be applied to improve the logistics service quality, especially in the dry port sectors in Kazakhstan. Okay. Are the practice suggestions new? There is significant novelty that has been identified, especially on the managerial and academic as well as technological contribution. The quality of writing and design. The candidate demonstrated a well-written academic quality throughout the thesis, especially for addressing the motivation of the research, justifying methodology and theoretical requirement, as well as demonstrating the result of the thesis. In reviews, official reviews indicate one of the following solutions. I hereby declare that to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, or Doctor of Specialization to Ms. Aisulu. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Devanjagan. The floor is given to the second official reviewer, candidate of technical sciences, Associate Professor Jandos Kigenbekov Kazırbekovich. Please, briefly.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I believe that the topic of the thesis under consideration is relevant today. Results obtained during the dissertation research would contribute to the implementation of the state program of infrastructure development Nurlu for 2020-2025. And the results of the dissertation research contribute to the development of the concept of dry port, the assessment of the quality of logistics services and the problems of digitalization of transport and logistics infrastructure. The scientific relevance of the study is justified by the fact that in the scientific databases Scopus and Depop Science, the number of publications on the analysis of logistics services and the digitalization is growing early. Also published articles based on the results of the dissertation research have fairly good citation rated by scientists from various countries. And ISLU did their work independently as evidenced by the research carried out within the framework of the dissertation and the doctoral students' contribution to each publications, where she is the corresponding author. The author has developed her own methodological approach to assessing the quality of logistics services at various levels and carried out several empirical studies based on secondary and primary data. The dissertation consists of 3 sections, which reveal the purpose and objectives of the study. The work considers theoretical and methodological approaches to improving the quality of the logistics service of dry ports, analyzes the current state of the quality of the logistics services in the Eurasian space, and develops directions and recommendations for improving the quality of logistics service of dry ports and transport corridors in the context of digitalization. The purpose and the objectives correspond to the topic of the dissertation with the framework of theoretical and methodological tasks. The conceptual foundation and origin experience were studied, and the bibliometric analysis of scientific literature was carried out. All sections and the provisions of the thesis are logical interconnected. The new solutions proposed by the author are resonant and evaluated in comparison with the known solutions. In the course of the study, the author's conclusions are new. Scientific results, conclusions, and recommendations of the dissertation are justified and reliable, which is confirmed by complaints with the requirements for scientific research. In the dissertation work, the choice of methodology is substantiated. The applied research methods are clearly described in the dissertation in subject 1.3. The results of the dissertation contribute to the development of theoretical and conceptual foundation for the study of dry ports, the quality of logistics service, and the digitalization of transport and logistics infrastructure. The dissertation work is written in really fairly good academic style, and the text is presented in an understandable language. The content and design of the work meet the requirements for a PhD thesis. There are types and technical errors in formatting, which generally don't detract from the quality of the dissertation work. And the content of the dissertation fully complies with the requirements for PhD works. The thesis of ISLU is recommended for public defense. The applicant defers the award of PhD degree in the specialty 6D 090900 logistics. It's all my side. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jagan. Thank you, Dr. Kigenbekov. Are you satisfied? Sorry, Aysulu Sambayevna.
Yeah.
Please respond to the comment from official reviewers.
Okay. Dear reviewers, thank you very much for reviewing my work, for spending time for reading it. And I would like to just short comment for.
Aysulu, we can hear you. Something happened. Aysulu. Aysulu. Yeah, it must be something with the internet. I'm calling her. Oh my God. Oh. Okay, let's wait for a second. Aysulu. I am calling her. Okay, she's here. Yeah. Aysulu.
Yeah, I'm sorry for internet connection problems from my side. Yeah, we haven't spoke. Sorry, and logistic service quality model by Parasuraman, but your suggestion about developing conceptual framework for all of them aspects. Yeah, we conceptualized only dry port concept, but for developing conceptual model, we need to include service quality parameters, digitalization parameters, and report research aspects. Yeah, I will consider it in maybe in writing paper. Thank you for available comments, yeah, from your side. And second, your comment related about problem statement in each chapter, yeah, but our problem statement in introducing chapter and in especially in chapter 2.1 and 2.2, and but thank you very much for about problem statement issue, and your third comments related to the detailed description of methodology, especially using common method BS. Yeah, in the for describe for methodology, and I think it's a valuable recommendation for me. I will use it in my future work. Thank you very much for your comments, and especially you assessing my efforts, yeah, my work, to exploring new paradigm in a dry part research in Eurasian continent, and filling geographical gap. It's for me, it's a high value, and it motivated me for further research this topic, yeah, because Dr. Jagan Jivan is one of the scientists, dry port research scientists. Thank you very much for your comments and and assessing my work. And thanks for Dr. Jandos Katarkhanovic and your comments related to assessment tool, about practical side, yeah, developing practical side of my work, and all of them suggestion and comments helps me to further to conduct further stronger research in dry port research. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, official reviewers, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, I'm satisfied with the answer.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. So formal discussion is over. Official reviewers gave positive feedback on the dissertation of the applicant. We turn to the discussion. Who want to speak? You are welcome.
Can I start maybe, as I started with the questions?
Yes, okay.
Thank you. First of all, I'm very grateful for the university to allowing me to be a part of this defense, which was on a very solid and well-justified topic. And being in the field of this research, in the practical field of this research, I can say that for Kazakhstan, it probably is one of the most significant issues to be evaluated, as it was mentioned, the geographical position of the country allows to make a competitive advantage out of logistics, and it means that the best practices should be applied. But in other transitional countries, and especially in the big transitional countries which have a rare population, which is again a case of Kazakhstan, it is very important to understand what can be done right and what can be done wrong. And based on my knowledge in the field of logistics in Russia, and which is much better in Kazakhstan as well, I would say that the soft factors and the digital factors which were analyzed in the dissertation are very important. And the problem is, and this is the reason why I was actually asking the question about collinearity, that when I was doing my research, I was running several times into the situation when we use as a dependent variables different indexes, which allow us to measure and compare different countries and to show what are the best ways to to apply different practical tools, you run into the fact that as the factors used for those indexes are the same, it is hard to identify what are the main tools, what are the main instruments to improve logistical situation. And what I liked about this dissertation and the reasoning why I am in favor of awarding Ayselu the desired degree is that she was capable of identifying the models which actually describe at least the directions of how it can be practically improved, what can be practically done to make Kazakhstan one of the great logistics hubs, which it used to be and which it deserves to be in the future. So thank you very much for being a part of it.
Thank you, Anna Andreevna. Thank you. Who is next? Who wants to speak to?
I can say something.
Okay,
if you have time. So it's not an issue for discussion, but further it's an issue. It's something like a comment. First of all, I really liked the contents of the presentation, the thesis, the dissertation, and I really liked the replies and answers of the applicant to questions from the members of the Dissertation Council. I would like just to say that she shouldn't be so nervous when answering these questions. And I have questions to her, or maybe to her scientific advisors, or maybe to Dissertation Council members. Why did she make a decision to prepare and defend the dissertation in English? As far as I see, she knows and masters much better Kazakh or Russian. This is just a rhetoric question. No need to answer. But the defense was pretty good from my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Grinkovich.
May I answer it? Yeah, because it's my attempt, yeah, my aim to representing my results of dissertation to international audience, especially to Professor Jaganjivan and Professor Violeta Rosa and Anna Andreevna and other representatives of members of Dissertation Council, yeah, because they are scientists in dry port research. Yeah, it's so crucial for me for receiving some feedbacks from international scientists. And additional, my first in bachelor degree, of course, I present my work at Kazakh language, and in master degree, my defense was in Russian English in Moscow State University, and I think it's a big challenge for me. Yeah, and of course, I will improve my English so better in the future, because I want to participate in some international projects. Yeah, some maybe some writing papers, and I think, Igor Nikolaevich, it start for my new perspective. Yeah, for my future research. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, of course I can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we have completed the discussion of the dissertation work of Moldabekova Aysulu Tursunbayevna. We proceed to the next stage of the council meeting to conduct secret voting. Laura Ibolna.
Thank you very much, Ardakh Nisipekna. Dear dissertation council members and dear reviewers, I will send to your emails right now the link for the voting, yeah? And I would like to ask you to make a decision to send your answer. You have 4 options according to the dissertation thesis of Aysulu Moldabekova titled Improving Quality of Logistics Services of Dry Ports Within Eurasian Transport Corridors based on the study Kharkov Way on the specialty 6D 090900 logistics. And there are 4 options: award the degree of philosophy doctor PhD, send the dissertation for revision, send the dissertation for redefense, and the 4th option, it is refuse to award the degree of philosophy doctor, that is reject. There are 2 options. I kindly ask you to choose only one option, and don't please forget to send it to use the button, which is the blue one, yeah, and I will show the results after we have it. I already sent to your emails. Okay, and it just needs to answer, to vote, and to send it to us. And after that,
there is nothing so far from you.
Can you please just explain for us who are external and don't know the process, what does that mean? Do we all 12 people here or will have to agree on?
Yeah, actually all 12 people, members of the dissertation council, and additional 2 reviewers have to write to vote. Yeah, I sent to your emails the link, and we practiced it before, and there are 4 options.
No, I understand that. I was just wondering if it's necessary to be unanimous decision to pass. All have to vote the same, or
this is the different link. Yeah, you will just choose your answer and then send. You there is will not we will see only the number of answers. Yeah, and we will not see who answered and how.
I just had an impression that the question was about the decision is awarded based on majority?
Yes.
Yeah. The decision will be based on the majority. And if there are at least 5 persons will vote the other option, then they award the degree, we will re-vote, okay? And we have 11 answers right now.
Laura, I got the link and I voted already.
Did you vote? I sent to your email, Igor Nikolaevich.
Yes, I got it and I voted.
Okay, thank you very much. Who else? Bahçam Alaşı'nın, yeah, we're voting right now. I would like to check, do everybody get the link? Yeah. Ardakh Nisipekna, We
Are you ready?
We have the all
14
results.
Okay. To announce the results of the secret ballot, the floor is given to the Secretary of the Council, Laura Ibolna, please.
Okay, thank you very much. As you can see, there are results. 13 members are decided to award the degree of philosophy, Doctor PhD, to Aysulu Moldabekova on her thesis titled Improving Quality of Logistic Service of Dry Ports within Eurasian Corridor. And one vote is given to send the dissertation for revision.
Okay. Okay. I ask you to vote for the approval of the results of the secret voting.
Yeah. For the external members, we have to vote, for the results. Thank you.
So for 14.
14, yeah.
Laura Ibolna, please look. Okay. So the voting results have been approved based on the results of the secret ballot. The dissertation council at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University in the dissertation council for the direction of study 8D041 business and management made a decision to award Moldabekova Aysulu Tursunbayevna the degree of the Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in the specialty 6D090900 logistics. Aysulu Tursunbayevna, on behalf of the dissertation council, I congratulate you on the successful defense of the dissertation and wish you good luck in future research. At this meeting, the dissertation council for the defense of the doctoral dissertation of Aysulu Tursunbayevna declared closed. Thank you so much, dear colleagues.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for a good session.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Aysulu.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
I really appreciate. Yeah, I really appreciate the foreign scientists at Dryport Research, especially Violeta Rosa and Doctors Jaganjivan. They, as I mentioned, for me, the best scientists in Dryport Research. Their works helped me for deeper understanding the Dryport Research, and especially special thanks for Anna Andreevna. She participated in international project related Eurasian transport corridors, and it's motivated for me to continue my work. Special thanks for each members of dissertation council: Igor Nikolaevich, Dinara Mratbekovna, Bakhchamalashevna, Rima Sagievna, Bolat Mintaevich. I will show you the results of a test, but I know about it. Then all of the members, and many thanks for my scientific advisors from Germany, especially Dr. Anatoly Beifert, and my local scientific advisor Orazal Sabden, and the advising helped me to write strong research, and to write this paper, this dissertation. And many thanks all of the members of dissertation council from Astana, from Almaty, and from Malaysia, from Sweden, from Germany, all of the members, many thanks. And special thanks for my supporters, my mother, my family, for my sons, for support me this PhD